So we are here at the follow up of the Secret of the Dragon Emperor campaign. One thing I want to do really quickly before we get into some comments is let's do an epilogue. Let's say 6 months from now. Where are your characters and what are they doing? Let's go with Agatha. 6 months from now, where is Agatha?
Agatha has returned to Windhame and retired to the wilderness as a druid.
Oh, lovely. And the dulcet tones of her bagpipes echo through the mist laden woods every dawn.
Yes.
Where is Thaddeus?
Yeah, I think in the short term, Thaddeus would have returned to the crypt of Undurman and meditated and prayed and whatnot. But it did sound like the dragon gave some good tips about an evil rising, so
Yeah.
he might feel compelled to be hunting down that necromancer. I mean, essentially that's what we just defeated, and perhaps it would be better to get ahead of it this time.
Yeah, maybe you head to the eastern lands to find word of this Felorian, this strange necromancer. What about Dunninger? Where are you 6 months from now?
Luckily, I think Dunninger was intrigued by some of the stories that Phineas had told of the Deepfall Breach and the demon realm, so he's perhaps headed to the breach to explore it for himself. And Phineas, I think, perhaps now wishing to see Sathmog removed, would perhaps join Thaddeus in his quest to the Eastern Lands.
Nice. And Lucian, where do you go? Where are you 6 months from now?
Well, Lucian has spent some time as part of his university fieldwork, collecting sort of, other valuable artifacts and, notes from the region, but has realized that he has no interest in returning to the academic life.
Oh, yeah, once you've had a taste of the road.
So he has, bundled up his notes and shipped them off in a trusted caravan to his university with a open-ended leave of absence, and is probably going to remain in the Misty Vale because we have not made it to every corner of the map.
Nope, there's still areas to be explored.
Yeah, so yeah, Lucian is continuing to see what's out there.
Excellent. And Frostbite, where are you 6 months from now?
So Frostbite spent a month or two with the old man. He went and talked to what's left of Maddox's tribe or whatever to see how they are. He has gone back to talk to the blind woman, make sure that she's getting along okay, and that the goblin that Maddox was going to send over there is taking care of her. Going to be on the lookout for any other cultists of Sathmog in the Vale. But probably after a couple, 3 months, one of the other exarchs is going to need help or whatever, and so he'll be picking up his cart and his raven and his griffin and the cows and the chicken and everything, and heading off again.
Nice. Excellent. A fantastic story that we've told over the last 15 or so weeks. This was the original campaign that came with the Dragonbane box set, the core set, which I still contend is the greatest way to get into the game, is to get that core set. Comes with everything you need and more. The campaign itself, I liked it, but it has a couple weaknesses, and one is that it's very repetitive. It's essentially a giant fetch quest, and it feels like a lot of unrelated locations, almost that you could use as one shots. In fact, I have used one of them already as a one shot in other games, and I know Rittermound is another one that you could use as a one shot. That is just kind of pieced together for me, it started to get a little tedious towards the end of the fetch quest, but there were a few really memorable parts that I really, really liked. And one area that I didn't care for at all, and that was the day after tomorrow, or whatever it was, that with the time loop. I didn't care for that at all.
Village the day after.
Yeah, that's the Village of the Day After. That's the one. But there were a few areas like the Troll Spire, the Oracle Cave, the Ritter Mound, the Deadeye Cave. I thought were just fantastic. Just a lot of, even Bothild's Load was just a lot of fun. A little bit of dungeon crawl, a little bit of overland exploration here and there. It kind of gave you a good taste of Dragonbane and what to expect. So let's just kind of go around and just, if you guys want to take just a couple minutes, or as long as you want, to just kind of say what you liked, what you didn't like, maybe high point of the campaign. We can start with Craig. If you're ready, go ahead and give us your thoughts.
I liked Outskirt. I thought it had some like good mystery to it, with not knowing who to trust and stuff. I did like some of the quicker encounters. I think the characters that I got to run with were fun. Mark's characters were just, nonstop fun, and all three of them. And it was long. Very long campaign. That would be my only one negative.
Yeah, it was, I think, 15 sessions, which felt about 4 sessions too long. I think 10 or 11 sessions is about right. For me, I like short and sweet. I don't like long and drawn out. And for me, this just felt like it ran a little too long. Compared that to Path of Glory, which I think took us 12 sessions, and that felt just about right. This one just felt a little bit long. But you are correct. You nailed something exactly on that. It's not so much the campaign, but the people you play with and the characters that are brought to the campaign. And that's what really makes it memorable and makes it a lot of fun. And seeing not just the heroic ways that they overcome difficulty, but seeing kind of those lesser moments, those challenges that they face, internal and external, and seeing poor Mark's character that fell, like just brutally. That's something I will never forget. So,
character number 1, to be clear, could have bailed himself out at any time.
True. Yep.
But I had selected the I think the easily angered sort of disadvantage.
Role-playing exactly how it should have been.
And he died like he lived, an angry elf
covered in piss. The second character, that was like you blinked and you missed it. I felt so bad. That was, you were absent, and so like someone else was running your character, and your character just got annihilated by a griffin. And that was a rough spot for all of us. Like you could hear a pin drop. It's like, oh, did that really happen? It's like, oh no.
Yeah.
But that, again, was super memorable, but not in a good way. Henrik, if you're ready, why don't you give us your thoughts on the campaign?
Sure, yeah. I thought it was a good campaign. I enjoyed it. It was a little repetitive, I think. A lot of the spots, but overall I enjoyed the setting. I thought the Misty Vale was cool and fun to explore. I thought the ending was pretty good. I enjoyed that, and the epilogue was cool. So overall, I think it was fun, but like you said, not as good as Path of Glory. But
we
overall,
got to had a callback to 2 of your characters in the ending, which was kind of fun.
Also, I did enjoy the extra Deepfall Breach adventure that you added in. I thought that was fitting and fun to explore.
So that is true. We did add, I think it came probably 3 sessions. We added 2 sessions in the Deepfall Breach, and we did the Ancient Tree. And those were just kind of add-ons. I enjoyed them. I really liked the taste of a harsh dungeon crawl where we got some awesome weapons. I think Alathar's longsword came into play in the very last session. I mean, it was key and integral into that. But also the ancient tree was just an awesome experience to kind of get in touch more with the forest. And my favorite NPC of all was the giant that we teamed up with. I think that was one of my favorite role-playing moments, was our encounter with the giant and getting him on our side to help us, and what he did with Agatha specifically to kind of set the end in motion. I thought was really cool. Luke, how about you?
Yeah, I think a lot of people have made most of them. I wrote down some points, and most of them have been talked about. Like the story, the overarching story is like classic. You know, it felt like good versus evil. Like, I don't know, some kind of like Lord of the Rings. We've got a journey, like easy, clear goal. Let's do it, and that's always fun. Never a bad thing. A few of the adventures stood out. Like the one I'm thinking of is that one with the cave and the spiders.
The
I don't know which
Oracle
one.
Cave.
Yeah, that one felt like a real like journey, you know, with like just you had to actually like think about how to get through it, and I don't know, that one felt like it was like just like really there. So I enjoyed that one. That one stuck out. I liked the last couple of bosses too. Like that crab was horrible. It was built to fight the Umdurman characters.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the head crushing attack will kill anybody, but oh, that one was really close.
And it was harder than the final boss. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Azrael Coffey got to him and just kind of kicked his ass. Like, it was a little close, you know. It was kind of hairy there. Anybody with 4, you know, ferocity is scary, but there's nothing compared to that. But I like their custom attacks and stuff. It kind of gave them, like, more character than just a boring NPC boss.
Right.
So that was a lot of fun. This last session, I had a blast.
Excellent. Mark, how about yourself?
All right, so this was, like, my first extended campaign, you know, playing online with folks, and also first Dragonbane. The system is a lot of fun. You know, I haven't really played much since second edition Dungeons and Dragons, so my first experience with the modern system. But yeah, no, it was a blast. It was easy to get into. There's a lot of, you know, a lot of ways to kind of stretch things out. So, you know, unlike a second edition Dungeons and Dragons, like, you know, your first and second level players aren't getting just one-shotted constantly.
Yep.
Except for Ivan, of course. Yeah, I mean, agreed. The campaign was a little long. I mean, every specific night is great because it's just built so that things are self-contained.
Right.
So I did like that it didn't feel like a slog in the sense that, you know, you've been in the same area for like 6 nights. You know, that structure does kind of keep it fresh. But it's just is in calendar time. It was, you know, it's 2 new seasons. You know, I'm ready for something new after 2 seasons.
Yep, 100%. I'm ready to tackle something different.
Yeah. I also now want to play everything from Free League.
Oh yeah.
I don't know where that time is going to come from, but
who needs a family?
But yeah, thanks for having me here. It's been a blast playing with everybody. A bunch of memorable characters.
Yeah, it's super experience, and you even missed a session, and because this is so compartmentalized, did it feel like you even were you lost in the campaign after missing a session?
I mean, really, not at all. I mean, I think there were some orc politics that you know, I didn't have the backstory on.
And it wasn't really integral to the plot. I mean, you pick up the plot really easily, and so at any point you know what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, and I felt like there was a lot of variation in color. Now, the village from the day before, like, I would agree that it's not exactly just in the spirit of a lot of the rest of the campaign. But man, I think we could have just played in there for days, finding ways to like have people like time accelerated and like use them as artillery. I mean, just there were a lot of really bizarre mechanics I think we could have played around with. But you know, we've only got 3 hours, so you got to be goal oriented.
So one thing that you mentioned is playing more Free League stuff. Do you mean like Dragonbane from Free League, or just other Free League games?
Oh, like literally every game.
Oh, nice.
You know, as well as Dragonbane, because, and again, like, it's not a complaint, because I think this campaign did what it set out to do. It feels like there's a lot of space in the system that, like, it's not even really explored.
Oh, yeah. And they're still coming out with updates and, like, the big Magic book that just was kickstarted.
Yeah.
And, like, still building.
Yeah, and I guess there's, like, a more, like, urban setting coming out. Like, that'll feel like a whole different game.
Mm-hmm.
Because as it is, you know, half of the skills list, I think, you know, we didn't touch.
Oh, yeah. So this is currently my fantasy game of choice. It has that old school feel that reminds me of when I played when I was younger, but it is modern enough that it's easy for inexperienced people to pick up, and it's really easy. It's not, there's not a lot of math. You don't have to calculate modifiers. You know your difficulty is your skill. I'm trying to beat that. And so it's easy to know, like at a glance, I need to roll better than this, rather than I got to add 2 and then I get 3 from this, and it's super easy to teach, super easy to run. Other Free League games are like that, and just as an aside, I run a ton of them. I've run Vaesen and The One Ring and Blade Runner and Forbidden Lands, and like you name it, they're all good. They're all excellent. Alien is fantastic. So definitely would encourage you to explore more into the Free League library. It's all good. And when you get the physical books, they are just gorgeous. Like, you just want to touch the pages because they just feel so nice on your hands. They're like textured pages, and it's just fantastic quality stuff. And
So I have the Dragonbane box set.
Oh, perfect.
And I have stayed strong, and I have not read the Adventures manual.
Oh, well, now you can. So yeah.
Now I can, and find out what easy tricks we missed. Okay, I just 5 minutes ago read the closing and realized that we left a couple of captives in that dungeon to die.
Yeah, in fact, and I added Maladuke as one of those captives in there. So the orc leader was in there. There's a couple of captives. There's I think in the whole campaign you only missed like 3 or 4 rooms, and it was today. There was a troll that you could have talked to. There was a couple of prisoners, and then like some skeletons. But otherwise, man, you guys like hit every point on here. So, but now feel free to go back and read through the adventure and find all the things that you missed, and there really wasn't much. You guys got pretty much all of it. Reese, how about you bring us home? Tell us your opinion and your thoughts on the campaign.
Well, I'm a little more of a glutton for punishment than you guys.
We know.
I just started in a home game, the Great Pendragon campaign, and I played online. My Cthulhu games, my 2 Cthulhu tables, one's just started Horror on the Orient Express, and the other just started Masks of Nyarlathotep. These are going to take us 2 years, at least. These are going to take us a long time. So I really like longer campaigns where you start to see how things come together and everything. So I don't mind, how long this one went. I think it's important to realize, this is the intro campaign. And so it does a good job of getting you to see a lot of different things. Like, you can have your dungeon crawls like in Bothel's Look. You can have your like castles and siege, like we had up at the castle, Fort Malice. You can have portals to another world, like we did up at the Troll Spires thing. Not Troll Spires, but
the Temple of the Purple Flame.
Yeah, that one. And you have different types of people, some good, some bad. It shows you, it introduces things like teachers. There's a little bit of things you can be doing here in Outskirts, so you can see a little bit of city life. There's a lot of travel, so it shows you the importance of like bushcraft and finding the paths and what can go wrong when you go wrong. I will say that the city of the day before I liked, because it was a puzzle, and I like puzzles, but I can see it getting frustrating for people fairly quickly as well. And so we got through that quickly. The one that I look back on and say never again is Oracle Cave.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because there are so many caverns and stuff in there that only agility gets you through. Right. There's got to be a different way, like if I was human, then I could have used the adaptive ability and used like strength to pull myself through or something like that. But the need for acrobatics in there, especially for anyone wearing chainmail or plate mail, that was just unfun in a lot of ways.
And that's an issue we actually talked about, not this past session, but the second to the last session. That pool of water that you had to swim through to get to the opening, like more than half the party struggled with that just because we're not good at swimming.
Yeah.
And yeah, should be like another way through that.
So those two pieces I had forgotten about that because I actually succeeded my swimming roll and was doing just fine when you guys were getting your butts kicked. So that was fine. I was good with that. Again, there are certain things that you do as a GM that helps tailor things to our characters, right. Which is going to be a very important thing for anyone looking to run this. Making sure that you understand, hey, this is something that's going to, you found like a magical crossbow. Well, none of us use crossbows. It's the finding this magic item is going to be bad. I mean, Frostbite's got the axe that honestly he wasn't very good at axes, but no one else wanted it, so he got a little bit better. Mm-hmm. So I like long campaigns, but that's just me. I like seeing the world develop and seeing everything around it. And I think that, between the City of Yester, or whatever it's called, the inn at the end of the road, the Bothel's Load, the things happening outdoors and everything, you see this campaign does a good introduction across all kinds of different settings, situations, creatures, and things like that. That does a good job of introducing the game, introducing the world, and sparking a GM's imagination.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head about the purpose of the campaign. This is the introductory campaign. This is to teach people about the world, about the system, and give you a taste of everything. I think that's the best way I've ever heard it described. Is that anyone that wants to get into Dragonbane, start here. We started with Path of Glory, and it was fine, but this kind of precedes Path of Glory. And do we need to play this before Path of Glory? I don't think so. But you could build on this. You could take those same characters and go right into Path of Glory, which is intended for higher level characters. As it was, we had to kind of level ours up ahead of time. But yeah, this is the place to start. Now, many of you have been in another campaign I ran, The Creeping Darkness, which was from Dundurdagar, and that one was a lot of fun as well. I mean, they're all, just Dragonbane in general is fun. It's nice when you have, that one was more like exploration rather than a fetch quest, even though we were looking for one thing. And they just, you can do this so many different ways. It's a fantastic system. So. Well, I've kept you guys long enough. I want to thank you for your time in this little wrap-up session, and thank you all for playing in the campaign. That's the best part for me, is just getting to play with you guys, and I had fun. I know I've got games with some of you coming up, and others of you, hopefully I'll get you in another game again soon, whether it's a one-shot or a campaign. And for the last time, signing off, thank you guys very much, and we'll see you soon.